Like, and all those fucking.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show. Anthony, how are you, my friend?
Doing okay, guys.
Seems like we've traded places, my friend.
I know, it's all right. I'm not really upset at all, actually.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. I mean, we have so much to get into and just a real deep dive because it's very rare. Obviously, Tony focuses on the Mets. I focus on the Yankees, but it's very rare that the two of us watch a game from head to toe, pitch by pitch. So that's going to be very exciting today. And I just can't wait. And we already have a comment from Prefer we're going to get to in a second. And then also Chokery should be tuning in from work as well.
Let's go.
He was pumped up. National broadcast was on Fox last night. I didn't even realize that. I mean, even if I did know that, I'm going to stick with my local broadcast.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
I
sure
didn't
you're
know.
the same way.
Yeah,
right?
SNY.
But occasionally, though, I have to say if Costas is on the call, I kind of want to see
Who
that.
did the Fox call?
I would imagine it was Joe Davis and who does it with him? Smoltz. That's the number one team. I don't know if that was them or they did their B team, but
Actually, if I had known that, I would have told him the Smoltz.
Yeah,
tuned in a little bit.
Yeah, he's good, but just the nepotism with the Yankees sometimes. But he knows his stuff. But you have to admit he is he is tight. It reminds me of Al Michaels last year when the Bucks lost that game to the Rams in the playoffs because he had about 5 G's on it. It's too much. It's too much. But yeah, we got to talk about this world of Major League Baseball.
2-2, he got him swinging. The back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray.
There's damage right there. Shohei. Way, Cy-Yo. Nada, where did that land?
Smoke to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins and fires. Out at first.
There it goes. See ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
And for the first time in a week and a half, that applies, Tony. But before we get to that, we do have some comments. So if you would update our viewers on
What a few comments already, dude. Let's start with Prefer. He has Mets played well. Proud of them. It was nice to see the Yankees show up last night. Very honorable man, Prefer. No?
Oh, yeah. But Prefer is one of the most loyal listeners you will come across. We always appreciate his input. Sometimes it's a little misconstrued. Sometimes he hits it right in the head. But like us all,
gosh.
nobody bats 1,000, Tony. Nobody bats 1,000.
Would you agree with his statement?
Mets played well. I don't know if well is the word.
Well is not the word.
But we'll get to it in a second.
And then Aaron Boone would have quit the team if the Yankees lost. Nobody wants that.
That's another statement.
I would love to see Aaron Boone quit.
I could think of a bunch of guys that would probably be better suited at that job, but hey, who knows? Maybe a little of that is all we needed.
Yeah, it really spooked the team, I bet.
Absolutely.
And then Chokery checking in here. Hey, everyone, excited to watch the show today.
Chokery, we love to have you with us, bud. One of these days, we got to get you on a conference call because I know Tony would love to chalk it up with you.
Oh, yeah.
But we love having you tune in. And last night, obviously, it was the talk of the town, the Subway Series Part 2, after those 2 games at Citi Field last month, Yankees, Mets, Max Scherzer versus Domingo Germán. And what a game it was. A lot of action early, really starting in the first inning. The Yankees, get going, which was something that they've had trouble with. Usually, they're down 2-0, 3-0 very early, but they're able to kind of get started against Max Scherzer where, you thought, you'd have some trouble there, but they didn't. And the nice part too, was, Germán was able to retire. He only needed three batters to come up. He did hit Nimmo, but then he got a double play with Marte, and then Lindor grounded out the third. So he was through the top of the first unscathed, and then came the bottom of the first inning. And coincidentally enough, I mentioned how Nimmo had got hit, and then Benintendi got hit. And now They were saying, oh, he just snapped a breaking ball. Any thoughts there? Do you think there was any intention,
No,
retribution at all?
No intention.
Because sometimes there is, though, but they did say that on the Yankee broadcast. I don't know if the Mets commented, Keith or Ron or Gary said anything about that at all. Or did
about being intentional?
Or just, like that must have been my mistake. Did they allude to anything, or they didn't really comment on it?
No, they basically said it was just a mistake. Yeah,
okay.
They didn't say definitely not intentional.
So then, after Benintendi gets hit, Judge strikes out swing, Scherzer gets him on the slider. And then Anthony Rizzo with a loop single just over the glove of, was it Batty? Because they were shifting, right? Batty was basically
shifted.
playing short. So Benintendi gets the third on that because no one was covering with the shift.
Right.
So that's just one of those things. And that happens more than you think, because obviously the reason why teams are shifting is because, they're not hitting the ball that side.
Right.
But like on a play like that, I mean, you kind of do screw yourself over having no one to cover the bag. I mean, there's no way he should be taking third. I mean, that ball barely made it out of the infield.
I know. It sucks, dude.
But that was a product of the shift.
Yeah.
And then the controversy started. So DJ LeMahieu hits a high fly ball to right. Benintendi tags up, scores. And I guess there was just some conversation right after it was done that, oh, wait a second, did he leave early? So the Mets were about to appeal. I guess Buck starts walking out of the dugout. Rizzo takes off towards second because they're not prepared for it. Scherzer overthrows the ball. Rizzo then goes to third, but then they call him back. And I guess, we were talking about this before the show. I guess it was because the guys weren't set. Buck was on the field, but that was, Rizzo was hot. He literally told, Lindor to F off. Like, he was fired up, and you could see the energy early from the Yankees in that first inning.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, hey, man, obviously the Yankees have been taking a lot of shellac and everything, and they started the game off hot, exactly what they wanted to do. So emotions are certainly high. They're in Yankee Stadium, obviously. So, for the Yankees especially, big game. But, it was Rizzo, I guess, was kind of in the wrong at that point. What are you going to do?
Yeah, he didn't know.
I don't know why. Yeah, he didn't know, I suppose. But, it sucks. But, take it easy, Rizzo.
But I do think, honestly, Tony, you could admit this, and I think Judge even kind of called out the team the other day. They need that. You know what I mean? Whether that was justified or not, they haven't been fired up enough. And you saw it with Benintendi later in the game with a couple hits. You need that to get going, to get out of a tough time. You need that energy. You need to be fired up.
Yeah, you definitely do. But,
at the Mets' expense, basically.
Take it easy, dude.
Fuck off. So then Herman gets the Mets 1-2-3 in the second. Yankees go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. Herman again in the third, 1-2-3. And then in the third inning, bottom of the third for the Yankees, you had Marwin Gonzalez ground out, Benintendi ground out, and then Aaron Judge, Max Scherzer had thrown him two fastballs. The first one he fouls off, the second one, a homer to right, his 47th home run of the season. And it broke, he had gone 9 games in a row without a home run. So that was big to get the Yankees a 2-0 lead. And then came the fourth inning. Nimmo legs out an infield single that, went back to the pitcher. Marte flies out. Then Lindor singles. So you had first and second, but then Pete Alonso grounds into that double play, ending the inning. So that was huge for the Yankees there, because I feel like they've struggled to jump out, not only jump out to a lead, Tony, but to not get into trouble and give it back right after. So I thought that was one of the turning points in the game, getting out of that inning, getting a big double play, one of 2 double plays that really helped them out. And then it was on to the fourth. Nothing really of consequence there other than you had a walk by Oswaldo Cabrera. And then the Mets again in the fifth inning, 1, 2, and 3. So Domingo Germán dominating the Mets through 5 innings. And then it was on to the bottom of the fifth. You had IKF lead off with a ground rule double to deep center. And they were talking about this on the broadcast. The Mets were fortunate. If that ball doesn't go over the wall, he probably gets a triple on that. Really just hit it in the perfect spot. And then all he's good for, Marwin Gonzalez, sacrifice bunts, gets the runner over to third. And then Andrew Benintendi, we've really seen some signs of life out of him. He doubles to right, scoring IKF. So that made it 3-0. Mets got out of the inning after that. And then it was on to the sixth. And, it started out, nothing crazy, Batty flying out. But then there was the play, McCann hits it off of Domingo Germán. He's shaked up a little bit, but he does stay in the game. And then they get out of it. Yankees go down 1-2-3 in the sixth. Then it was on to the seventh. Started out with It was interesting too, that they had kept Herman because the bullpen is so short. Third time around the order, Yankees don't like doing that, but the pitch count was so low. I think he was under 10 pitches in his first 4 innings. It was like 9 to start or whatever the case may be. But then we had a crazy play, which I thought really could have been the turning point of the game for the Mets. And you have 2 guys that aren't used to playing with one another in Oswaldo Cabrera, who was playing second, Marwin Gonzalez in right. Alonso pops it up, and Cabrera and Gonzalez collide into one another. Both go up for the catch, and the ball drops. Alonso reaches, and I just feel like on that play, Marwin Gonzalez, just because of the fact that he can see what's in front of him, how does he not get out of the way? I mean, I feel like that's unexcusable. No, I know technically it should be the outfielder's fault, but he sees him right in front of him. I mean, just back off, no?
Yeah, but he may not have. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, obviously, when you're playing outfield, you're calling the ball. You're looking at the ball. You're not straying for the ball at all. And he obviously, didn't see Cabrera. And, like you said, it was Gonzalez's ball. Cabrera should have backed off, but I guess, I don't know. I mean, I was looking at the replay. It didn't seem like Gonzalez was like saying anything. But maybe he did say something, and then but you got to be screaming your head off the whole time. You know, obviously Gonzalez wasn't hearing you, or they were talking about it like obviously a young player trying to make plays out there, and obviously being a little overzealous for that one. But I mean, and he should know though. I feel like he should know that. Gonzalez has this ball. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. It was a very weird play to me. It should not have happened, obviously. It was stupid.
Right.
It was very stupid.
And then it seemed like it was going to hurt them because
it did.
Domingo Herman hangs a slider, and Vogelbach takes it to right center, 404 feet. So that cut the lead to 3-2. So literally, I mean, I think he just crossed home plate. Aaron Boone right out to the mound, brings in Ron Marinaccio, who has been historically great for the Yankees. I think it's like a record where he's allowed runs in 2 of 29 appearances to start a career. Like nobody's ever done that. Something along those lines. I saw it on Twitter. But he induces 2 groundouts from Jeff McNeil and Mark Canha. So then we're on to the bottom of the 7th. Trevino flies out. But IKF reaches on an infield single. They throw it away, Lindor. So that allowed him to go to second. Gonzalez pops out to first for the second out of the inning. But then Andrew Benintendi, another big hit, scoring IKF from second. Judge singled, and then they brought in Trevor May, who ended up striking out Anthony Rizzo, who seems to be going through it. I know he had the hit in the first inning, but has been struggling definitely of late. So Marinaccio comes back out for the 8th. And he leads off the inning by walking Brett Beatty. But then he strikes out Tyler Naquin, who was really cooled down, after that hot start with the Mets. Nimmo flies out. And then this ended up working out, but I questioned it. And I don't know what you thought when you were watching the game. You got one more out to get out of the inning, starting Marte coming up, and you bring in Loaisiga. I mean, were you like, weird. Are you kidding? Like, did Keith, Ron, and Gary have any thoughts on that one? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they did want Marinaccio to face the lefties, just because I think of his changeup. I think his changeup is really good against the lefties, obviously. So I guess once Marte was up, they're like, oh, we don't want him. We'll ask Loaisiga to get.
Because I guess they were saying the sinker runs in, and that's the way they would jam him, which he did. He flies out to right. And then bottom of the 8th, Michael Givens comes in. LeMahieu singles, but then Donaldson, Cabrera, and Trevino all make out to make it to the top of the 9th. And Loaisiga stays in the game. And, we've seen him have so many shaky outings this year, but he was able to, induce 3 outs in a row, including capping the game off with a strikeout of Daniel Vogelbach. So they get him back after hitting that home run earlier in the game. At the end of the day, it was a huge win for the Yankees as they win 4-2 to take game 1 of this 2-game set. Herman gets the win, Scherzer the loss, and tied a season high 4 earned runs allowed for him, only 3 strikeouts. So you really expected more strikeouts out of Scherzer.
Oh yeah.
And then Loaisiga, his first save of the season, he's missed a lot of time with injury, stepping up in a big way. And I just thought, and I don't know if it's fatigue or what it is. I mean, with Scherzer, I thought, his cutter looked pretty good. His slider looked great. But the fastball was kind of hittable. I don't know.
No, I mean, his command was a little off for sure. I mean,
yeah.
you could see that, he was a little ticked off. He just didn't really have his command, and because of that, his balls are getting hit pretty hard. And he definitely didn't like. I feel like his last outing before that against the Braves, his balls were being hit.
Mm-hmm.
There were fly outs deep in the outfield, though. And we saw it a lot with Judge almost had a second home run. I think Rizzo after that even almost homer too, like a few feet off the fence. So I mean, his balls were becoming very hittable, and it was just because of his location. I feel like he was leaving balls kind of over the middle, where he wanted to kind of jam Rizzo up like high and tight. It was high and over the middle, giving Rizzo an opportunity to kind of make good contact on it. So obviously I think that is fatigue. Buck already talked about resting Scherzer an extra day.
Okay, so that's confirmed next time around.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think because, I mean, obviously on paper, this was a big mismatch on the pitching department.
Mm-hmm.
Domingo Germán all night hit his spots. I mean, he was getting early strikes in the count.
Yeah.
And really having a good mix of off-speed pitches and, no walks, which is big.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I mean, he's caught a lot of slack, but they showed some stat too. I think over the last 6 starts, he has a lower ERA than Taillon and Garrett Cole. So he's kind of really stepped in here. And it's funny. I mean, if he continues pitching well, I mean, I guess they have to by default unless someone gets hurt or Taillon implodes. You would think when Severino comes back that he's going to have to go to the bullpen unless they want to use Severino as a weapon out of the pen. I mean, obviously we'll see what happens when that comes around, but I kind of think they want to stick with Severino in the rotation.
Yeah.
Right?
Taillon goes to the pen.
I mean, that would be. I guess it depends how he pitches the next couple of starts, but I just feel like if Germán's pitching like this, I mean, we can't take him out of the rotation.
I know. I mean, his curveball was crazy last. You talk about his location; he was obviously on it the whole game. But I mean, the Mets had a very difficult time hitting his curveball.
Yeah,
it seemed that I think Vogelbach was the only one who hit his curveball.
Right,
and that was
right, and that was probably the only bad curveball he threw all game. And a lot was being made of. They were talking about it, I think, on Boomer and Gio this morning. That the Mets had this strategy going in that they're going to attack Germán early. And his strategy was he's going to throw strikes early because he doesn't want to fall behind. And the Yankees kind of did that with Scherzer. And it seemed like that worked out for them. But on the other side of things, the Mets offense, I mean, they just really could not get anything going all night. Only 4 hits.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, 4 hits obviously isn't a lot. I mean, we talked about, I mean, there were, runners in score position just one time. They were 0 for 1 with runners in score position. But I mean, it was tough. I mean, they had the opportunity. I mean, I know, we talked about Scherzer not having, I suppose, the command he normally has, but regardless, I mean, he pitched a very winnable game for the Mets. They just didn't, I feel like, take advantage of certain opportunities when they should have been getting better hits. And, obviously, the Yankees has a good lineup, Judge with the home run. Benintendi also had a couple of really good hits. Like, I think there was one hit off of Scherzer. It was a slider that was like.
Oh, and was that when he went down to 1?
Yeah, it was clearly out of the strike zone, and he just kind of went fishing for it. Ended up getting on base because of that. So you got to tip your hat to him. But I will say, I don't want to sound like Strider over here, but I feel like they got kind of lucky in the 9th. Just because all of a sudden I feel like with Loaisiga, and I mean, obviously tip your hat to Loaisiga too. I mean, his sinker is like touching 100, I think, which is ridiculous. There was a couple calls. He was like hammering the right side of the strike zone, making batters reach. But there was a few times where like they were clearly balls on the outside.
The one thing I'll say, I saw that all game, but I do think the ump was consistent. He called all those pitches on both sides.
One inconsistency was in the 9th with Vogelbach, where there was I think a changeup low that he called the ball, and then the last one was the same exact changeup he called for strike 3, and that's when Vogelbach was tight as fuck.
Right. Yeah, that ump. Yeah, I mean, definitely just overall, I don't know why it's so hard to stay within the strike zone.
Yeah.
But yet, for some reason, Tony, all of that being said, and the amount of errors he probably made calling balls and strikes, I still feel reluctant to go to the automated ump. I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
Because it just, I know it technically doesn't make sense. It sounds stupid, but I feel like those balls that are an inch off the plate really should be strikes. And I know that doesn't make any sense, but I just feel like those shouldn't be called balls.
Yeah, I guess so. And then, I mean, like, I don't know. I would have to do some more research into it to see like what exactly, like, let's say, like, I don't know. Let's say the automated ump is like kind of fucking up. Like, is there just unlimited appeals on strikes and balls here for managers, or like, do you have
No,
is
I
there
think that
anything so like whatever it is?
and I think the New York would be on top of it, as far as I know. But also, I mean, Tony, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a lot of talk for nothing, and we actually never get to that point. Just
Yeah, I don't think
because
we ever
of
will.
errors and
Mhm.
stuff that they don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see, nevertheless. And I know, like you were saying, that Scherzer didn't have his A stuff, but I honestly think this might have been the Yankees' most impressive win of the year, even more impressive than that walk-off grand slam the other night, just because on paper it looked like such a mismatch. And their bullpen was beaten. And the fact that they just did the little things right, taking extra bases on the Mets' mistakes and just making contact. And obviously, you had that solo home run from Judge, but all the rest was just good fundamental baseball. And I feel like we haven't seen them play many games like that this year. So that combined with the energy that we saw from them, and I think they've been lacking that recently. And I just think you can't understate how big of a victory this is for the Yankees. And maybe this finally gets them going in the right direction. This is actually the first time in August that they've won back-to-back games.
I know, it's just crazy to even say that.
And I love what, like you mentioned, Benintendi's doing. He had a nice catch in left field too. I don't know if you saw that one where it was kind of cutting towards the line. He kind of just played it perfectly. It was earlier on in the game. But I really like what he does defensively, and I think he's a great leadoff hitter. And while it didn't happen like where he drove in runs, I really do like LeMahieu batting cleanup, like almost so much where when Stanton comes back, I almost want to just keep him batting fourth and then have Stanton bat third and move down Rizzo to fifth. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I like that.
Because Stanton will be back on Thursday. They confirmed.
Oh, right, that's
yesterday.
right.
But I just think because their cleanup position had struggled a little bit, and like DJ's contact, I feel like is so good, and Benintendi seems to have found his groove batting leadoff.
Yeah, I mean, I would not move him at all.
Yeah,
he's been really impressive.
So all in all, I mean, a great win for sure, and and also, I mean, you had Gleyber Torres not playing, and it'll be interesting to see tonight if Florial, he hasn't played the last couple of games. If they want to get him in there, I mean, Marwin Gonzalez or Aaron Hicks, complete waste, and especially Marwin. And I guess Cashman at a press conference was saying, "Oh well." Oswald Peraza only plays shortstop, so that's why he's not up right now. But it's like Marwin Gonzalez can only play a lot of positions and bunt. He can't get a hit. We have no money tied to him. He signed like a minimum deal. Why is he on the roster? I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. At least with Hicks, you could justify he has this big contract, but there's no reason, absolutely no reason why Gonzalez should be on this roster, especially with Oswaldo Cabrera can play all these other positions. So why do you need another guy like that?
Yeah, I don't know why. What are they doing?
I guess it's like they think, oh, well, he was part of like a World Series winning team with Houston. He has experience, but it's like, get out of here.
Yeah,
that's bad. It's bad management decisions. So all in all, though, I mean, it's a good feeling, and I'm just excited for tonight's game.
Yeah, me too.
I think it would be huge for the Yankees to take this one, and I just can't wait. And I'm kind of organically, I feel like I mentioned this to you a while ago. You might have forgot, but I'm actually going to the game so,
are you really?
Yes. So
I had no idea.
I told you a while ago, but you probably just forgot.
Yeah.
So all you fans out there, get ready for some videos. I'm pumped up. I'm gonna be in the standing room section there in center field. So definitely gonna mix it up with some Mets fans out there and kind of try to put them in their place.
That'd be kind of tough when Montas gives up like 3 runs in the first inning.
See, I mean, we're gonna talk about the tonight's game in a second, Tony.
What's your record going to games this season?
I think it's so at Yankee Stadium. I think 5-2, and then the one road loss in Fenway.
So 5-3.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
And I believe Buffer has a chirp.
So the Yankees won 2 games in a row. Almost forgot what that feels like.
See, I feel like Buffer, the last week or so been very up and down. I mean, what happened to he's so nervous of the Mets, and all of a sudden they take 3 out of 4 for the Phillies, and he's back on top of the pyramid, singing Kumbaya, and it's just like, listen, this was a tough loss, and this is the type of matchup you're going to have in the postseason. You're going to have to play a team like this, and I think it was just concerning for the Mets. What happened offensively. I mean, you weren't going against Garrett Cole or Nestor Cortez. It was Domingo Germán, and the offense looked lifeless.
Yeah, but Domingo Germán pitched a good game though.
But I'm saying if he can pitch like this against them, what's I don't know, Corbin Burns or Yu Darvish or Tyler Anderson, what are they going to do against this Mets lineup?
Well, we'll see, dude. Well, that's such a ridiculous statement. They've pitched so well against good pitchers all season. They hit so well against good pitchers all season. This might have been just a one-off thing, dude.
I mean, I'm just saying because we did talk about this a while ago, where there is going to be that time where the level of play slips, and I'm telling you, because it comes out of nowhere, Tony. This could potentially be the start of it, and I think the Mets losing again tonight, then you go face Colorado, and you might underestimate them. I'm just saying. I mean, it could get out of hand quickly.
I don't think so.
And I think I'm going to guarantee tonight one of two things as far as with Taijuan Walker. Either that back is going to flare up again, or he's going to pretend that it flares up when he gives up 6 runs through 2 innings. I'm just saying, I would not feel great about Walker. I don't understand why he hasn't been put on the injured list, honestly. I know they're down pitchers, but I mean, why mess around with it?
Yeah, I don't know why. And why
just not start DeGrom?
Yeah, why just not start DeGrom right now?
And I guess they had Keith, my favorite guy on the Fan today, and he was saying Buck didn't really give them too much, but he basically said that he thought DeGrom wasn't sharp against it. Didn't he pitch well his last start or no?
Yeah, really well. Pitched like almost 100 pitches. I think went 7 innings.
Did he give up 3 though, or no?
I think it was 2 or 3.
Okay. But I guess he was saying like the curveball was a little off.
Yeah, he had a little issue with issue with his location in the beginning. His slider wasn't breaking as much. But I mean, then he kind of he went up a couple runs early and then kind of settled in through 7 innings. So. It was good. Yeah, maybe they want to give him some rest, whatever. Again, like we mentioned how, his first 2 starts back, it was like maybe 60 pitches. Then that last one was 97 or 98 or something like that. So, I mean, I guess I can see where Buck is coming from. But, I mean, with Taijuan Walker, arguably still injured, I mean, like, what are we doing, I mean, I understand, I guess you're more concerned about DeGrom, I suppose, for the postseason. But I would rather have DeGrom throw good 5 innings than Walker throw a shitty 5.
Or even get to 5.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, but we still have Frankie Montas on the mound for the Yankees. So, I mean, there's some saving grace.
Yeah, but I just feel like, it's a good spot for Montas, at home, coming off a clunker. And I think he can take a page or two out of Domingo Germán's book, from last night. In terms of, hitting his spots, getting ahead early. And I think the good thing with this Mets lineup is, there's not a lot of power. It's more contact. So if you can just kind of get them to swing at strikes that aren't optimal for, driving the ball, I mean, I think that's going to be a good thing. And I know Befur's chuckling away over there.
Yeah, he is. But you know what? No, I understand. The Yankees stole one from the Mets last night and
stole one.
Yes.
I mean, I believe they were leading the whole game, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that's fine.
So why do you say stole?
Because I mentioned, Scherzer wasn't at his best. Like our offense weren't at their best either, I suppose. And all of a sudden, Germán is pitching well. I mean, not even you expected that, really. So yeah, I think it's just they stole one. We're gonna get one back, and then we'll be 3-1 overall in the season, and it'll be fine.
I mean, listen. I mean, I think best of luck. I just think they have to be careful, especially because everybody's looking ahead to. I think they have one of the weakest schedules in the whole league in September, or once you get past like the first week. Or
I guess so. I guess.
But I'm saying just in terms of not getting complacent. And just thinking that they can just steamroll through these teams. Because I'm just saying, it's just not that easy. And it just like reminds me of last night with the Dodgers and the Brewers. Oh, yeah, should be no problem. Urias pitching great, and they get shut out. So it's just like you have to keep battling every night.
I don't think our schedule is that easy. I mean,
they've been talking. Everybody's been talking about that.
We have the Dodgers coming up. I think we play the Braves the last. I think maybe the Braves and then the Nationals, or the Nationals and the Braves. I mean, it's not like a walk in the park necessarily.
I know it's. I think they said after the first week. I'm gonna just pull up the exact schedule.
I'm pretty sure we end with the Braves.
Because I think it's like 5 or 6 days into October the season ends. All right. So
we have Colorado after this, right?
but how about here? Let's
And
start
then
in September.
Dodgers.
So you have your last
Nationals.
game of the Dodgers, and then Nationals, Pirates, Marlins, Cubs, Pirates, Brewers, A's, Marlins, and then you finish with Atlanta and Washington. I mean, that's pretty
true.
easy.
That is
September.
pretty easy. Besides the Braves, really,
Yeah.
I suppose. And I mean, the Brewers can
Might
be
have
good.
something to say.
Yeah, might have something to
But
say. Even the Marlins may too. But the Pirates and the Cubs are obviously
7 straight
eschewing.
games against the Cubs and the Pirates mid-September.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, that talk about some padding.
Yeah, and they're playing the Nationals as well to start off. But
I
mean, hey, nothing is ever written in stone, Brian.
So, I just think overall though, I do feel really good finally. I think more than anything, obviously there was a bunch of guys last night for the Yankees that stepped up, like Benintendi, like Herman, like Loaizaga. But like I said, just that fire. I just feel like that gets you a long way, and I think that had evaporated.
What do you think about the fans at the stadium last night? Pieces of shit or what?
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, there was that one guy who ran on the field.
Oh, right. And then the other guy
threw like a plush,
drinking the beer out of a hot dog.
Oh, no. Yeah. First of all, Mike tagged us in that.
Yeah,
I watched it this
morning.
morning.
I thought you go on Twitter.
He literally texted me. He was like, check your Twitter. And I was like, okay. I don't go on Twitter, but actually maybe I'll get into it. There's a lot of juice around Twitter nowadays.
A lot of juice.
But I think some fan threw like a plush baseball onto the field too. They had to like stop the play, got to come out, remove the ball. And I feel like we've seen this with Yankee fans throughout the season. Even against the Mets, I think against Tampa Bay when they were throwing garbage on the field and shit. Just total, bad behavior. As Prefer is saying, expected in Yankee Stadium. Just because of these fans are just, they're spoiled, rotten, no good people, man. They're bad people. Bad people.
There's nothing
bad people
better in life, in the world of sports than the camaraderie.
Camaraderie?
I feel like I said it pretty good. Let me finish, Tony. You could reply after. That us Yankee fans have with one another. I would, if I had to use one adjective, I would say it's a brotherhood. There's just an instant respect you see. And, I'll see this later when I go to Billy's or Stan's and there's a fellow Yankee fan standing next to me. There's no controversy. We all want the same thing. We all have that 28th championship in sight together. And I just feel like there's just a level of class. And sure, you might point to someone running onto the field, someone throwing a beer can, but those people represent less than 1% of us Yankee fans. So it's just one of those things. You could go anywhere. You could go anywhere in the world and there's going to be losers there. But the majority of us Yankee fans have pride and just know what winning's all about. And we're just so into it. And that's why I just love, baseball. There's a lot of naysayers out there, but I always just thought those type of comments saying it's dead, the juice, the buzz, the marketability, the attendance, none of that applies to Yankee fans. And, even the Mets fans, everyone gets all excited. Oh, they're having a good season, this and that, but they still have 10,000 empty seats in the middle of the week, so they don't have the support and just the pride that us Yankee fans have. And I just think it's just a rare thing in sports. And unfortunately, just the way, I don't know what it is, but it's just, there isn't much of it around anymore. And even in the NFL, even in the NBA, NHL, there's just nothing like the spirit of a New York Yankee fan. What were you going
to say? Are you like running for office or something?
No, I'm not. I stay away from politics. Stay away from politics,
dude. That was a very politician answer. Prefer Barnes dodging your question, Tony. It's common sense.
I don't know why that didn't pop up on my
Yanks
screen.
fans are thugs, dude.
Why am I not getting these comments?
I don't know why.
Wait, what was it? Okay, Prefer. What was the fucking question? No, but really though, what was the question?
I kind of forget what my question was.
About the people throwing the stuff?
Yeah. I mean, what'd you think of the fans last night?
No, but like I
that-
just
that
answered the
spiel,
question.
that's
It's
what it
less
was?
than 1%.
I don't think so. But it happens every game,
No,
I
it
feel.
doesn't.
And any time
you named something that happened in May, Tony. That happened in May.
I'm talking about what happened yesterday, though.
But you're acting like, oh, that was yesterday. That was May. So this is one thing.
It happens
since
all
May.
the time, dude. I'm telling you, bro. Like those Yankee fans will eat each other, dude.
No,
Yes.
I just think that what really speaks volumes, Tony, that this month we probably have one of the worst records in the league, if not the worst, and we have the best attendance. So I just think that sticks volumes. And sure, we get upset and we don't like certain things that happen or certain decisions that's made by the front office, but we stick behind our guys. And I just feel like anywhere else in the world, any sports we're talking about, you have fair weather fans, and we just stick behind our guys no matter what till the bitter end. We believe even when our backs are against the wall, we're there in bunches and we're supporting our team. And I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah, but I know this happened in May, but were you not throwing trash at the Yankees?
No. What are you talking about?
When you guys lost Tampa Bay, was it not like wasn't Judge and Stanton
it was
in the
Guardians, and it was
the
Miles
Guardians?
Straw, wasn't it?
I don't
on the
know.
Guardians?
All I remember is like Stanton and Judge in the outfield picking up trash, telling people to stop throwing trash. Like, what kind of camaraderie is that when your players are telling you to stop doing what you're doing? I would apologize for Yanks fans and acknowledge it's a problem. Entitled fan syndrome.
No, I mean it sounds
nonsense. Pretty good, dude.
And I guess like the reason why, and just obviously I'm thinking of it because we're first commenting here, and he's of course a big Mets fan. I guess the biggest thing that I have a problem with, like when it comes to Mets fans versus Yankee fans, is I feel like, listen, we're very into it. We support, and you could say whatever you want, but like I said, the lack of attendance during the week, I mean, you see it. I mean, there's literally 10,000 empty seats at Citi Field. So
we're not talking about Mets fans. We're not talking about Mets fans.
But I'm just saying, and I'm just doing a comparison because you're asking.
We're not comparing, though. We're not comparing. It's not a comparison.
And I just feel like, and it's like the Met fan. This is why I say they could be worrying, because it's just like they want to look at me, look at us, the Mets.
No one's saying that. Prefers not saying, look at me, look at us.
And I just feel like accomplish something and then I'll take a look. But until then, the Yankees are the toast of the town, the king of the sports world, and there's nothing to debate that. And
what do you mean? Accomplish something? We beat the Yankees more than you beat us.
August has been terrible. I'll give you that, but we've been one of the best teams in the major leagues, and I don't care. And Ron and Keith and Gary with his cold from 50 years ago can say whatever they want. The Mets are doing nothing.
They're not saying anything.
And the Yankees are.
Why are you bringing them into this?
Because no, because honestly, that's actually at the top of my list when it comes to the Mets. I still can't get over it that people think someone just said it on the radio. I think it was Gio this morning, that they have the best broadcasting team in the league. I can't take it. It's just so ridiculous. And I just feel like they don't have one good broadcaster, not let alone the best broadcasting team in the league.
Why?
Because what is so good about their broadcast? Keith refuses to, like, I'm sorry, but talk about Mr. Ego over here, that he's too good to broadcast a Mets-Phillies game. That is the most ridiculous, selfish thing I've ever heard. And I can just tell by the way you just looked at me there that I'm right. That's crazy.
I mean, I don't know any details about it, so I can't really speak on it, but I would say, the chemistry that he has with Ron Darling, that Gary has with everyone else too, and I suppose Steve Gelbs, who I'm not really a fan of, to be honest. But the three of them, I mean, I feel like are great together. And they're hilarious. They're obviously extremely knowledgeable. Hilarious. Hilarious.
I mean,
have you ever listened to Michael Kay call a game? It's boring. It's horrible. Talk about ego. No. Michael Kay is the biggest egotistical guy probably in broadcasting right now. It's ridiculous. The guy won't put cheese on his hamburger.
That has nothing to do with that.
No. Yes, it does. Anyway, I'm making a comparison, Barnes. I'm making a comparison.
Anyway, I think why Michael Kay gets a pass is, listen, he is a chief. No one's not saying that. However, he's got great guys around him in David Cohn and Paul O'Neill. And I think that's what really makes up for it. I mean, David Cohn and Paul O'Neill are outstanding.
No, they're good. They're very good. Yes.
But
Michael Kay is your play-by-play, and he's horrible.
But I think it's more about the commentary than the play-by-play. And I think that's what the Mets lack with.
Yeah, and Michael Kay's commentary sucks.
But Keith
has good insight. And he goes out there and he gets quotes and interviews people.
I think he's still got some yayo from the 70s.
Sure, dude. Why not? Have some more, Keith. All right.
All I'm saying is I am jacked up for tonight. And
Me too, dude.
I really, just because, listen, I was very confident yesterday. I don't think many other people were, but the Yankees stepped up for once. Like, finally, I just feel like there's life again. The stadium was rocking, and I just love to see it. And I really think tonight is a perfect opportunity for Frankie Montas to have his Yankee moment. He's looked terrible, Tony. No one's saying he hasn't looked terrible, but he has a decent track record. He's a better pitcher than that. And I just think he can learn a thing or two from the way that Domingo Germán pitched last night. I think that it's that simple. And I think, I know he threw 30 pitches the other day, but Trevino might be available. So that's helpful. And then I honestly think Walker's going to get chased out of here. And I think we'll have a big enough lead that we can pitch Aroldis Chapman tonight. That's my hope. Because we got to get him right.
I think it's ridiculous. And back to the Yankee fans prefer. He says, I watch World Star hip hop videos and everyone wears Yankees gear. I mean, you can't really argue with that.
Well, that's because they're the number one brand.
Number one brand in the world. The New York Yankees.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
It's not.
What do you mean? Yes, it is.
Number one in merchandise.
What are your statistics? Number one merchandising brand in the world. The whole world. There are people over in India wearing Yankees gear.
Yeah, they are.
Really?
Yankees are a global team. It's just one of those things. And
that's ridiculous.
And
you're talking Michael K. This is Michael K talking.
Anyway. I think at the end of the day, the Yankees showed that they're a better team than the Mets, and I fully expect that to continue tonight. And we'll get into a full preview. I just wanted to update everybody on our pick segments, and then we can even lead off with you, Tony, and what you expect to happen tonight. But yesterday I went 3-1. You went 1-3, so I actually take a lead here. 21-14. You go to 20-15. Full slate tonight, and obviously we're so amped up. We're so ready to watch this game. I can't wait to share it with you guys on Instagram tonight. Definitely have a couple of check-ins for you. And I think the stadium, the atmosphere is going to be great.
What time are you leaving?
And I'm just so excited. I'll probably get there around like 5 or so because I want to get in the stadium an hour early because I feel like the standing room area is going to be packed. I want to be right, at the edge and not like deep in and not have a good view.
Right. Hell yeah, dude.
So definitely pumped for that. And like I said, it is going to be Montas versus Taijuan Walker.
Which obviously we'll go straight up here.
Yeah, we're going straight up, obviously. But you lead off. I want a synopsis of what you expect to happen tonight. And I'm guessing, with your prediction of the Mets winning, what they're going to improve upon from last night that they failed to do.
Yes, certainly. So obviously, one of the things we're going to improve upon is hitting up on the Yankees early. But I do want to start with Walker just because, obviously, I guess he's kind of the bigger topic here because, DeGrom gets kind of pushed back and Walker back in off the injury here. And the talk is, how's the back? What's going on? I think we're going to see vintage, start of the season here, Walker, a little bit of the extra rest. I think he's going to hammer the high and tight, the high and inside fastball here tonight. I think that's going to be key to kind of jack up Yankee hitters here who are obviously going to come out pretty confident, based on their level of play last night to hit up on Scherzer, to now hit up on Taijuan Walker. And I think that fastball early, high and tight is going to be key for him. And where Scherzer didn't succeed, Taijuan will in terms of actually locating that fastball to kind of jack up those players. I would say Walker goes 6 innings of 1 earned run baseball. I'll give him 7 Ks, 1 walk, 3 hits, maybe a Benintendi RBI single. And I would say at that point, Mets early, often, first inning, Lindor, dinger, getting his, I want to say 78th RBI on the season, something like that. Putting the Mets up early, and then after that, Alonso getting on base, McNeil getting on base. We mentioned Vogelbach. I think Vogelbach, where he succeed tonight off of Montas, is going to be the long ball again. I would say 5th inning, a nice 2-run dinger for Vogelbach tonight. Pissed off about, getting called out on strikes last night in the 9th. He'll come back with a vengeance. And then after Montas will maybe give the Yankees 5 innings, 5 earned runs. And then from there, it's a bullpen game. We'll have Diaz well rested. By the way, Givens pitched pretty well last night. I'll give him that. But I would say after Montas, the bullpen will be a walk in the park. Our bullpen obviously be pretty strong as well. Trevor May also did not look good last night. But I would say end of the game here, Mets win it 6-2.
All right. So, I will have a different take here from
I would hope so,
that
Brian.
delusional stance.
Oh my God.
But I mentioned, Montas has looked terrible. I mean, there's no two ways around it. I mean, obviously Jordan Montgomery looking like Bob Gibson last night with the one-hit shutout for the Cardinals. So obviously, that hurts a little bit. But we've seen Montas, he has this stuff. And I think that shoulder injury that he suffered during the middle of the season, he hasn't had that many starts, that many innings, that many pitches since then. I think he's just settling in. And I think against a weak hitting lineup like the Mets, that you don't have to worry about guys hitting home runs other than really, I guess, Lindor and Alonso. I think he has the stuff, with that sinker. And I think he will, take a page out of Herman's book in terms of keeping the ball down, hitting the corners. So I'm expecting 6 strong. I honestly think 6 shutout innings. I really do. I think the Yankees are going to shut out the Mets tonight. Just because they haven't had a shutout in a while. And I know the pitching's been pretty good, but it hasn't been dominant. And so what I'm going to actually say is they're going to do a tag team effort here of they're going to go Montas for 6. But the thing is, they're going to actually score 6 runs off Walker through 2 innings. And he's going to get chased. And I don't even know who they're going to bring in out of the bullpen. And I think they'll keep tacking on. And I think overall, you're going to see Benintendi with 3 hits, another home run. And I think Judge and Rizzo will hit back-to-back home runs at one point as well. And then give Trevino a dinger as well. I think this is a blow. I think it's 10-0. And what we're going to see is, Montas throw those 6 strong, 8 strikeouts. And then I want to say we're going to go Chapman for the 7th. Immaculate inning, really getting the confidence going, the Chapman stare. And then we'll have Clark Schmidt go 8 and 9, close it out. Yankees sweep this abbreviated 2-game set, head out west, off day tomorrow. And they really start, that ascend back up the standings and maybe eventually catch the Astros to get that home field advantage. But this is really a turning point in the season. And I think they just got to a point where they're like, listen, we've been embarrassed by the Red Sox. We've been embarrassed by the Blue Jays. We're not going to be embarrassed by the New York Mets. And I think again, right. Because they did sweep them earlier. That's fine. But they're not going to do it here. And you know what? Aaron Judge even
won the first game, so I could sweep you again.
Aaron Judge said it after the game. He said, we might see these guys down the road. And I think when you talk about sweeping again, I think what they're going to do is take that second game tonight. So that'll be a sweep. And then come the fall, come October, come Subway Series Part 2, something that Michael has been clamoring about since I first met him. We're going to get that. We're going to get a Yankees sweep. We're going to get a 28th
Yesterday you said gentlemen's yesterday. Yesterday you said gentlemen's.
No gentlemen's. I've changed my mind after yesterday's game because Max Scherzer. I mean, what's up, man? We'll maybe next time we'll. I'm trying to think. We'll go with an opener. We'll still beat him. Doesn't matter. Okay, we're not scared, and I think that's the thing. And I think Derek Jeter said it best in The Captain. He said, "Never worried about the Mets. The Mets were just the Mets." So just think about that.
Where's Derek Jeter now? Huh?
In the Hall of Fame. 5-time champion.
Doesn't deserve it.
Doesn't deserve it.
By the way, speaking of being like Monty, did you see how he pitched last night?
That's why I mentioned it. 1-hit shutout, Bob Gibson. But I you know what? At first I was pretty tight, but then I just been thinking about it. And listen, he's got the beard going. It's something that he's wanted to do for a while. And I just think we see it too many times. I mean, how many times, we always talk about guys coming here and performing worse. How many times do they go elsewhere and perform worse? They always perform better. Mm-hmm. So this is nothing new. And I think it's just the fact that, first of all, you're out of the American League East, which is a tough division, out of the American League, and you're in the Central, weaker, division.
The American League East is not that tough.
Better than the Central.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just think it just sets up perfectly for him. So if he was here, would have been getting shellacked. He would never pitch the way he's pitching now. He would never start a postseason game. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But we need to have Harrison Bader on the field. He thinks beginning of September. Some people think maybe middle of September, but I'm excited to just have that lineup with Benintendi in left, Bader in center, Judge in right, Stanton at DH. I just think that gives us the best chance to win. And I think Bader struggled a little bit with the bat from a power perspective, earlier this season before he got hurt. And I think he's going to bring that energy, that spark that they need. And I'm really excited about it. So I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about Giancarlo Stanton joining the Yankees on their West Coast trip. And I think all is good in the Bronx. I am pumped up, ready for the game tonight. We're ready to take down the New York Mets for the second game in a row. But we do also have 3 games to pick each, Tony. So if there's a way to follow that up.
Yeah, it's pretty simple because none of that's really going to happen anyway. So
I think I said the same thing about what you said.
Yeah, exactly.
So we agree on something.
Yes, I guess
both agree
to disagree.
No, we both agree that what each other said isn't going to happen.
Right?
Wouldn't that be agreeing?
We're agreeing to disagree.
Yeah. That's an easier way to say it. Sure.
I guess. All right. First game. I'll go with Brian. The wave that is the Atlanta Braves against the Pittsburgh Pirates right now. Talked a little bit about the Pirates because of the Mets' upcoming schedule. They are trash. Atlanta, Max Fried. Obviously, he's been totally lights out for the Braves for quite some time now. A 2.60 ERA, 11-4 in the season. Talk about the infield of Austin Riley and Dansby Swanson and Matt Olson, who's heating up now.
Vaughn Grissom.
Vaughn Grissom as well. These young guys that are getting called up that are performing really well. The Braves extending everyone's contract, getting all these guys for not a lot of money, honestly. Pretty crazy. The Braves, who are 76-48 in the season. The Pirates, who are 47-75 in the season. The record speaks for themselves. The Braves are going to go out here and they're going to absolutely, walk all over the Pirates. What was the score last night, Brian?
No.
2-1.
2-1. Okay.
So obviously, kind of closer than you would expect here. So that's why I think the Braves tonight. I think the Braves went up 2-0 early. Just because I was, they did the live look in from SNY, whatever, last time. And then obviously cooled off. But, I would say maybe the Braves open it up, maybe middle of the game offensively and keep it going to the end. Braves win this one, I don't know, 5-1.
All right. So I'm going to take, it seems like a walk in the park anyway, former Cy Young Award winner Robbie Ray versus Washington Nationals. And I know they gave the Padres a run for their money last week, but it doesn't matter. Nationals are trash. They've given up on the season. Ray, complete game shutout, 15 strikeouts. Ty France, 3 home runs. Mariners, 15-0.
Okay. Next game, I'm going to go back to the well with the Cardinals. Adam Wainwright, I believe, is on the mound for them. Just double checking. Yes. 9-8 on the season. You would expect a better record for someone like Adam Wainwright. I suppose maybe just because the little downhill spiral the Cardinals are going into for a little bit maybe affected his record. But regardless, Javier Assad on the mound for the Cubs, getting the call up to the majors, 25 years old. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. Obviously, he's a righty. Not a whole lot to be looking into for him right now. But nonetheless, I've said it time and time again, when these guys get called up, they get shellacked in their first outing. So far, I've been pretty good with predicting they're getting shellacked. So I would say, with Paul Goldschmidt, I think he was just named like Player of the Week or whatever for.
And eventually he's going to be the NL MVP.
Probably.
He's hitting like 340 with like 30 home runs.
He's hitting 337 with 31 home runs, 100 RBIs. Pretty crazy stuff. So I think they're going to absolutely pounce on this Javier guy. I think, and with the Cubs, with their pitching, with their bullpen, they're going to have to kind of ride him out for a little bit, probably 4 innings. So maybe 4 innings, 6 earned runs from him. And St. Louis takes this one 8-3.
Rays hosting the Angels. Corey Kluber on the hill versus Suarez for the Angels. Angels are a mess. There's just no other way to say it. Rays trying to gun us down. And you know what? I hate that they're going to win again tonight, but they are. I think the Angels maybe put up 2 runs. The Rays get Yandy Diaz and Rosarena with solo shots. And I want to say maybe Taylor Walls has a 2-run triple as well. 4-2 Rays over the Angels.
All right, I'm gonna go with another Barnes pick from yesterday. I'm gonna go with LA, and where LA didn't do yesterday, they're gonna do today. That means score some runs. They lost 4-0 yesterday.
4-0 yesterday.
4-0. Who's on the mound for them?
Yesterday was Urias.
Urias.
It's so funny you say because obviously it sounds like you're saying Urias. Is it Urias? I mean, because it almost doesn't even sound like, you know what I'm saying. Enough.
I do. I know what you're saying. That's funny, Barnes. It's very funny. But Tony Gonsolin on the mound for them tonight.
Isn't it Gonsolin?
No. There's no way that they're going to score 4 runs on my man Tony here. And against Corbin Burns, who's good, but I mean against a Dodgers lineup that could be in full swing. And we talked about him before. Freddie Freeman. Give me a 3-run dinger from him in the 5th inning, starting off the scoring in the games. I mean, nothing through 5. Well, not through 5, through 4.5, I suppose. Then Dodgers, Freddie Freeman, 3-run dinger. 3-0 Dodgers. And maybe they score an insurance run or something in the 8th. Or maybe a Mookie Betts RBI double. I feel like Mookie, he's got to do better. He's just got to do more, I feel.
You look at the stats for
it's
their hitting.
Decent, right?
No, but like it's okay. But I'm saying just look at their hitting stats. Nobody's like doing crazy this year.
Really?
For their record. I mean, obviously it's just they've pitched well.
Yeah.
Bullpen's done the job, and they've the power is very down. They give Muncy an extension. He's hitting 190. I don't know.
Yeah, why would they do that?
Good clubhouse guy. He walks a lot.
Oh, does he though?
No,
I don't think he does walk a lot.
I think they're just counting on him to bounce back,
Yeah.
and they probably think he's a crucial part, of their success in the clubhouse.
I think he strikes out a lot, that dude.
He does.
But anyway, just give me the Dodgers. What did I say? 6-1, 5-1?
Yeah.
5-1, 6-1, 6-1. What does it matter? They're gonna win. Barnes is gonna cry.
No, the thing that I was gonna mention, that I forgot to mention when you originally said the Dodgers is, I mean, listen, I think they're the best team in the National League, and they're up there for the best team in the league. But Corbin Burns, I mean, I think, with an offense that was scuffling yesterday, 8 hits, no runs, could be tough. That's the only thing I think.
It could be.
But obviously, I know Tony is good.
Right.
Hill,
That's what I'm saying. 5th inning, Freeman.
Should be a good game, honestly.
I think it will be too.
So for my last pick here, I'm going to go with a team that, right now actually has a 2.7% chance of making the playoffs. The San Francisco Giants, Carlos Rodon, has been amazing this year. Unfortunately, they're 60-61, and right now are 6.5 games back of the 3rd wild card. So, barring a miracle, they will most likely miss the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if that is the end of the Gabe Kapler era in San Francisco. We will see. But tonight, Tigers, dumpster fire. I think the Giants 4-1. And Rodon, 7 innings, 12 strikeouts, 1 earned. The Giants go to even money, 61-61.
All right.
So, be an interesting night of baseball. Obviously, I'm just so excited to go to this game tonight. And we'll catch up with you guys there. But really, other than that, the other big news that came out this morning, one of our guys, Will Zalatoris, got some herniated discs in his back. Pulls out of the Tour Championship. Won't be available for the President's Cup, so we'll see who they pick to replace him. But yeah, so I guess they're going to go 29 guys in the field for the Tour Championship. Really a shame, just getting his first Tour victory a couple weeks ago and to have this back injury. That's tough. So obviously, hope he gets better soon. And then also, officially, we expect this all along. Tony's guy, Baker Mayfield, officially named a week 1 starter for the Panthers, and he's actually facing the Browns. How about this? So
yeah, dude.
He's facing the Browns week 1. Monday Night Football first game is the Broncos at the Seahawks. So Wilson's return to Seattle. And then obviously we mentioned the Deshaun Watson game against the Texans when he comes back. So the NFL doing the scheduling right. That's for sure.
That's one thing they're good at.
And then I think the first game is going to be great. Bills-Rams on Thursday night. That's going to be awesome. And then really, other than that, I just saw in here the guy that, I think some teams could use, maybe the Giants, maybe even the Jets for some depth here. It looks like Kenyon Drake says that the Raiders are going to release him. So, he was obviously the former Dolphins running back, and he was on the Cardinals for a little bit, but guy that could catch the ball out of the backfield, run between the tackles, pretty fast. So I think he could help someone out along the way. But I guess we'll have to see what happens. But football around the corner, baseball really heating up right now. Just such a big part of the season. And I know you are just excited to watch tonight's game as I am.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, Tony, anything else?
I don't think so, dude.
But hey, I mean, today was fun.
Very fun.
As always. And we really appreciate everyone tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe, as well as check out the archives on our YouTube page in the summer collection at downtimetv.com. But I want everybody to enjoy this beautiful day. Enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees. And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.